G'day, I'm Tim Thompson. Exclusion fences to keep feral pests out can be a very expensive option. Today I'm in suburban Melbourne looking at an acreage that's trying to keep deer out. Rather than go to the expense of replacing the existing fence, they've simply extended it using a nifty new extension bar. Although the fences themselves were in good condition, the corner assemblies were in really bad shape, being old timber H sections. So what we've done is we've driven in steel pipe at each corner and we've put 2 metres in the ground, and we've attached these to a Fence Line Solutions stay block for optimum strength. This system was also flexible enough to allow us to construct it around the garden features, which we didn't really want to move. Jason, mate, how are you?
Good, Tim, how are you?
Not too bad.
Good.
Now, it's been a couple of weeks since we came and set up the corner posts and ran out the first few wires. How's the fence performing for you?
Yeah, really well. I think what we were trying to do was exclude the deer and make sure that we actually tried to see whether this would work for us as an ongoing solution. We've done half of the fence. What it's done is corralled the deer to other parts of the property. So now we've got the confidence to say they're not testing the fence at the moment. They've reduced pressure on where they were going, and we've got the opportunity now to continue with faith that the solution will work and we'll be able to finish the job.
It's basically a square, this property, and you've fenced 2 sides of that square.
Yep.
And you've concentrated on the areas where you've spent an awful lot of time getting a very beautiful garden going. And the deer were coming in and smashing that every night, weren't they?
They were actually coming in. They would eat it, they would try things, they would decimate the plant in the effort to try and find food and then not eat the plant because it didn't suit them. But some of these plants have been around for 2, 3, 4 years, which is very frustrating. They're not cheap.
Yep.
And I think also too, they would trample things as well. They're big animals, so they're trampling in.
So they might
plants.
come in and eat one thing and trample 6.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can, the landscape they produce in the gardens is just not congruent with the deer. They're just, the animals are so big. So them reducing pressure on the areas, especially in the corner that we did, has been visible, very visible.
So in the corner that you concentrated on, where you had your particularly nice garden, that's removed all the deer pressure from that area now?
Yeah, haven't seen any deer scat in that area. We haven't seen anything eaten or trampled or damaged in that area since we did the fence.
And you have noticed though that there are still deer coming on the property because you've only done the 2 sides, but it's changed their behaviour. It's
changed their behaviour, and they're almost potentially using almost a lineal diagonal track from corner fence to corner fence where they can easily get out. So that gives me the confidence to say, okay, we can start to see where they're going and start to manage their behaviour and exclude the total property. Yeah.
So this fence, in a matter of a couple of weeks, has reduced damage on the sensitive areas that you were particularly concerned about. It's changed deer behaviour. Has it broken or failed at any time?
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
No, there's been no issues with that at all.
Right, so because it's high enough and it's solid enough, the deer are not testing it.
That's correct, yeah. So far.
Now, a lot of people would say for a situation like this, you'd be best off just to get rid of the fences, replace them and start again. For you, the preferred option was actually extending the fence. Can you talk me through a few of the reasons why that was?
Yeah, I think I'm not a fencer. So it's a hobby farm essentially.
Yep.
I'm time poor. So I was looking for a solution that I could easily do and replicate. And I think also to do it in addition to what was already there. The fence that was there, whilst not great, it actually serves the purpose for what we want to do, which is to probably create a physical and visual barrier.
And in some sections, your fence is actually part of the garden, isn't it?
That's correct.
You didn't even want to get rid of the corner assemblies because they look good.
Yeah, they look good, or there's actually things growing on them, which is probably heresy to some people, saying, well, no, you've got to protect the fences. Well, we've got to protect the garden. The fences are the secondary to protect the garden and the plants. And so there's a balance between the two. So to actually fully do it, and I think cost was a big thing, but time pressure for us is the biggest thing. You know, I have a full-time business that I work in. We want to get out and we want to plant trees and things like that. So we want to make sure the fence is able to do what it's supposed to do, but also we want to make sure that we can balance it out with the time that we want to allocate to the other properties.
And it's not a big impact on the environment either, is it? I mean, you don't see the fence as easily as you do larger posts. It's actually quite a small profile. And the other thing that you were concerned about, you were telling me off camera, is that you don't like the environmental impact of throwing away steel and buying new steel. You'd rather keep the steel that's there and repurpose and reuse it.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's a big part of what we are trying to achieve is sure, you could go through, you could get rid of all of this fence line, you could put all new stuff in, not just the cost, but it is obviously the environmental costs of then saying, well, you've got to actually then go through all the idea of that's going to reduce carbon credits in creating that stuff, and what are you going to do with your old material as well? Does it just get dumped? Might be able to recycle some of it, but if we can repurpose it, that's so much better for us and also probably better for what we're trying to achieve on this property as well.
Lower environmental impact. Yeah,
that's it.
Absolutely. Would you use this product again?
I absolutely would. I think the other part of it, we had about 4 friends that came and helped us too.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes of telling them what they needed to do to actually, had one putting them on, one screwing them in. They were all simple tasks for them to be able to do. So didn't have to actually worry about running huge string lines because the fence was already there, making sure that everyone was doing the right thing and keeping everything nice and neat. So there was an element of ease to actually then help get other people to help, and they enjoyed it. They actually thought, yeah, this was a really good thing to do, because for them, that's not a normal part of their life either. So all in all, the ease of it was probably the thing that actually said, yeah, we would replicate this again, I think.
Well, Sally, that looks pretty simple and easy.
It is really easy.
I notice
Easy.
you're not taking the top wires off either.
No, I'm just putting them straight over these end brackets like that.
Yep.
And then screwing straight in.
Okay. So that screw's just holding them in place with a bit of tension.
Yeah, not much tension at all, and that's as rigid as.
It seems pretty solid, doesn't it?
It does, yep.
A lot simpler than the old design, and probably a little bit stronger with that pyramid shape as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's going on really easily. Yeah.
You're just about beating us. We better keep going with our end posts, hadn't we?
That's good.
What I like about the Pickex range from Wireman is that with a range of accessories, you can turn almost any fence into an exclusion fence easily and cheaply. Apparently these things fit T-posts in the US, and they also do an offset they thought you might be interested in, but you've just gone for the straight extension, and that seems to be working in this case.
Yeah, I think we spoke with them as well about what the options were, and I think if you create the angle over, is that necessarily going to suit your aesthetic purposes? If you can get away with slightly higher than what you need to actually get the exclusion, and so we went for slightly higher potentially than what we needed, but did away with the angle.
Because that's either encroaching on you or your neighbour.
Or your neighbour, yeah, that's right.
Mate, thank you very much for having us out here today and having a look at this. I love to see new solutions, and I love to see interesting solutions, and this certainly was one.
Thanks, Tim. I really appreciate it.
No worries. Guys, if you like this kind of video, don't forget, hit the little subscribe button down there, give it a thumbs up. Plenty more content like this on timthompson.ag, and I've got a Patreon. Is that about it?
No, a bit further. That's about it.
Alright, check this one.
That's not too bad.
That's pretty good?
Yep.
Righto, take it off.